And the next part is, I'm a big fan of like self-deprecating jokes. So when you talk about like the losing weight part, I feel like you really add on a humor aspect to that. But for that part, I wish what you had done was after giving that, instead of murmuring it, I feel like you could have said it with more confidence. Like sure, you didn't specifically like lose the way you want, but if you can just say it with enough like volume, I feel like it will add on like you're proud of yourself that respect too. And your tone dynamics, I thought was pretty good when you like went from yourself, like talking about the story of how the coach helped you, and then you moved, and then your voice got louder when you talked from your coach perspective about how you need willpower, you need like strength, you should fight, like don't, like once you fall down, just get back up. I like the way you raise your volume and show what the coach said. And lastly, what I like is when you connect the theme. So at first I was like waiting for you to write that suggestion down, but then you went through it with your conclusion, which was excellent because you showed that how all this stuff that happened from back then can connect to present day. I feel like that's an important part of giving motivation in storytelling speech. So typically, now this is the fun part because I rarely have the chance to criticize your speech, so now I have a lot. So the bad aspects is that I know Slate said you didn't use filler words, but I caught on a few. You used but and you know, and especially when you like I feel like you should think about your transition words because I realized you have a few problems with transition, and when that didn't work out, you use like but or you know, and then that kind of like distracts the flow of your message. And I feel like your intro could also be stronger. I feel like the first two sentences when you just like list on like your mom, your coaches, math teachers, I feel like just one sentence is enough, and then you just like move on and connect the theme. Okay, and a few more suggestions. I feel like this could really make your speech more powerful. Is you use your tone with the coach, but I feel like you could also like. What I see a lot is when speakers give is that they change their voice. Like you use your tone and then like use a more stronger or like manly voice for a coach. You know, just like get that picture or humor out, and that really like just gravitates the crowd and like really connects the message. Let's see. Okay, and I feel like another part is to help you out is each of your coach message, I feel like you can give structure that out into like one paragraph, kind of talk about this advice and then a story and another advice with that story. I feel like it's more structured and it gives the audience a clearer message of what they're trying to say for a motivational speech. But overall, I think it was really excellent, and I want to see you give a burpees, but that's what I want to say. But that's all. Excellent.
Thank you, Jen, for that evaluation. So now I'll begin my first evaluating Ejin. I felt like your evaluation was very structured in where you go first, second, and into the next section. I did notice you have the notes, but you weren't looking down too much at it. So for the next time that you're called to evaluate someone, I would challenge you to have the notes like while the speaker is giving their speech, but then during the table topics, using that time to organize it and structure it in a way, and then coming up to the stage where you already have the structure, just bringing it up to the stage so that you can continue to give more eye contact and work your evaluation in that way. Another thing, I will say the word choice bad. We're here to give criticism and feedback, so just to keep that in mind. And so now for the overall meeting, evaluation for the overall meeting. Thank you, Slate. Dress professional, so that's the tone for the meeting. And introducing the different sections. Yes, you might have forgotten the 3 roles, but you did recover in the middle of the meeting and kind of tied everything back in. So thank you again for catching on to that. And you also gave ample time for people to write down the different evaluations as well. When it came time to introducing the speakers, first you mentioned Zach's name, and then the introduction, and then back again to Zach's name. So I felt like there was a little bit of hesitance within the audience because people were almost about to start to clap for Zach's entrance. So maybe next time, and for anyone who serves in the Toastmaster role, to begin with the introduction and then finally welcoming that person to the stage and creating that flow. For the next section, with topics, Ben, a creative topic with just the creativity and storytelling. A lot of what we try and strive to do here at Toastmasters is developing just public speaking skills, and I feel like storytelling is one of those ways that you can really grab someone else's attention and an audience's attention as a whole. That said, with storytelling, there are transitions between like certain sections of a story, and I felt like maybe next time you can improve bringing those transitions. So when it's in between different people, perhaps like working in like a 1-2 sentence, just so that it's not like one person and then straight on to the next person, bringing some way to connect everyone, especially with the flow as you're moving along through the hero's journey. As for coming up and speaking during the topic section, great job to everyone, whether it was your first time, whether it was multiple times, there's always something to improve, and that's why I like having the speakers go first and kind of just keeping it in the back of the mind, kind of like starts your mind thinking, okay, that speaker is kind of doing that. Let me think of one thing I could focus on, whether that's through voice tone or through volume or hand movement or using the stage presence or using the stage as a way to emphasize the point. Just focusing on one and then working that into the 1 to 2 minute as advice. I will say, great start to the meeting. We are ending a little bit early, but that's okay. But that's all I have. Yeah, thank you. And I'll bring back Slate to the stage.
All right, that comes to the conclusion of our meeting. Just want to wrap it up. A few quick tips to. What's that? Yes. So I will call on. You already called on the timer for evaluator. Did you already do that?
No, I did not.
So go ahead and call the timer. Were the evaluators in time?
Yes.
All right, perfect. And for Marion, can you give your report for the meeting?
There's a lot of new people, so I didn't really, it wasn't hard. Obviously, let's try not to use cuss words when we're up there. And if we do have a cuss word that we're thinking of, let's try to, instead of just saying like poopless, let's try to say, scared senseless or panicked or just something, or just throwing that in. But other than that, everybody was pretty good.
Thank you. Thank you for filling in again. Just give a quick rundown of the whole.
Let's say the name and how many?
Yeah, however you want to do it, really.
Okay, Slate 0, May 15, Kimberly 11, Eugene 0, Soren 0, Stark 1, Nikki 5, Trisha 2, Matt 6, Carlos 2, Zach 3, Nick 6, and Sabina 2.
All right, thanks. All right, and so now just a few quick tips I want to give. Thanks to the junior evaluator and evaluator. Both those really are also impromptu because you sort of make your own speech on the fly. And so great job to them. And then a quick info for table topics. So great job to everyone I think everyone participated. And a quick tip I have is it doesn't have to be real. Because I know like you're thinking of the question, you're having a lot of trouble thinking like, wow, when's the time like I messed up or time, et cetera, et cetera. You just need to try and have a coherent like just story start going and find what's not real. So that's my biggest tip there. But other than that, thank you for being Toastmaster, and I'll welcome Zach back on stage.
That was a great meeting. I really loved every single part of it. Eugène's evaluation, great job. Just to let you know, we're not going to be saying like, oh, I really like this part because I can point out everything you did bad. He just does that because, I'm someone that they like bragging on. But if it's a new member, we're not going to be like, oh, you did this terrible, improve yourself. No. We tend to be a more friendly and supportive environment, as our mission statement says. But I really liked all of the table topics as well. Great job, Ben, for facilitating that and coming up with good questions. As well as the fact that everyone got in time, and that's like the first time in a long time that table topics were on time for every single person, so congratulations to you all. With that said, I just want the guests, first time here, to stand up and say, well, if you're a freshman, you'll have to get used to this. Name, major, year, and then how did you hear about the club, and what do you think of the meeting? So, I guess we'll start with this side. So first.
Yep. Hi, Maeve. I'm a first year. I'm doing econ at IA, and I found out about this from him. So good job.
And how did you find it, or like the meeting?
Oh, I enjoyed it. Yeah. Well, coming back again.
I'm Carlos, I'm first year. First year computer science, cognitive science, and I found out at the involvement fair where I talked to you, and I'm coming back again. I really liked it. So.
I'm Stark, I'm a first year, I'm attended business, I heard about this at the involvement fair and I thought it was great, you all seem really cool, so I'll definitely come back again.
I'm Nithya. I'm a first year attended finance. I saw you at the involvement fair, so that was a really cool opportunity.
I'm Soren, I'm a computer science major, and I found out about this about the involvement fair, and it's just helping in public speaking, so I thought it was cool.
Hey, I'm Matt. I'm a finance major. It's my 4th year here actually. I've been meaning to actually join Toastmasters for 3 years. Never did. It's my first time here. I really enjoyed it. I was not expecting to go up and talk about magic especially, but yeah, it was great. Thank you.
I'm Kimberly. I'm a 3rd year in computer science. I don't remember how I heard about this club. I think it was a long time ago. I never went, and I did join some club.
Good news is, if you're a guest, you're not the only one standing up in this section. If you're an officer, please stand up and explain your role in the club.
I'll start. So I was Toastmaster today, obviously, but my role as an officer is I'm VP of PR, and can you help me out with this? So I'm
So-
down here.
All right, so I'll explain.
The main role, I think, is basically advertising the club.
Yeah.
Add on to that.
So his role is basically to spread the words about Toastmasters. A lot of people know about Toastmasters, either their parents did it or they looked it up on a professional thing, but they don't know that there's a Toastmasters club here. Or if they know like there's a Toastmasters club here, they think it's a a baking club where you make toast for the entire thing. Trust me, I've heard all the jokes. And really our PR person is in charge of programs of like hanging up posters, getting the word out, posting on anywhere that he finds a place where we can be found. And then also we are trying to put together a system of auditorium speaking. So, this is great for learning the skills to develop public speaking, but it's not going to be really applicable unless you get the real life practice. So I've stood in front of auditoriums of 400 people and just 2 minutes say what Toastmasters is. And of course, we're not going to be like, all right, if you want to be in Toastmasters, you have to do it. But it's a great experience if you're really wanting to jump in head first. So
that's pretty much my role. And if we're doing the whole spiel, I'm a 3rd year risk management insurance major, and I heard about the involvement fair at the previous semester.
Hi, I'm Trisha. I'm Sergeant at Arms SAA. Really what that entails is making sure the club's materials are well, so example like the badge is sitting in front of you, beginning the meeting with the gavel and starting the meeting that way, having these black boxes and the banner, making sure the room is reserved, stuff like that. I'm a 2nd year MIS and risk management major. I heard about this club from the previous previous involvement fair, and the reason why I kept coming back is because I feel like it's one of those skills where just to push myself out of the comfort zone and really take the time to think, okay, what's the one thing that I can do in this meeting to kind of improve, because there's always something that goes wrong, something to do better.
I'm Ben. I am the treasurer at this club, and as treasurer, I'm responsible, quick aside. The funny thing about treasurer is I don't actually touch any of the money. So, I'm responsible for helping to get businesses to sponsor Toastmasters, to get them maybe provide free pizza for us or stuff like that. And I think, yeah, that's about it. That's about what treasurer does, unless is there other.
For now,
Yeah, for now, that's what I do. And I am a second year history major, and I also heard about it at the involvement fair last year, and I've kept coming since. So.
One rule, very important, pizza's important, and whatever food we can get in would be great. Next person?
I'm VP of Education. Basically, we have, for Toastmaster, there's this system called Pathways. Once you pay your fees, become a member, you go to the website, take this little survey, and determine what kind of career speaking path you want. Whether you want to be a good storyteller, a good presentation, become good in presentations. There's all these different systems that you can do. I basically help you along going through that system, checking your progress, and also in meetings, I help with sign up roles for the next meetings, which I will do shortly. I'm Asian, once again. I'm a third year risk management major. I heard about Toastmaster in high school when I was scrolling through YouTube, just randomly watching videos. And then I didn't know UGA had one until I met the last year president. So I was like, wow. No, actually I met him freshman year, but didn't really join till sophomore year. Yeah, that's about it.
Hey, I'm Serena. I'm the VP of membership. So you guys probably saw that email that I sent out yesterday or today, and then the week ago. So just a heads up, I'm not going to be sending out too many emails. So be sure to join the group meet if you would like. And so we have our meetings at 6:30 every Monday in this room. So you don't have to worry about anything switching up. You can just show up whenever you would like to. If you are a guest today, we're really happy to see all these new faces. Please be sure to fill out your information on the laptop so I can get in touch with you if I need to. Let's see. If you are planning on coming in the future, there are plenty of roles and opportunities for you to get involved in this club. So for example, Eugene's going to be talking about the role sign up in a second. But basically, anybody can become the grammarian, the all-counter, or the timer during the meeting. So you can be pretty actively involved. Or you can also give one speech. And this speech could be about anything that you want pretty much, and most people choose to give a speech about themselves. If you're interested in further developing your speaking skills and maybe doing your second speech and going up to your 10th speech, Zach's probably done 40 speeches at this point, so really honing in and getting a Toastmasters account, getting those resources, please talk to me and I can give you some information on how to become an official Toastmasters member.
So with that concluded, just to let you know, if you want to become a member, just approach any of the officers that spoke, and we can get you hooked up with that. And again, you can give your first speech being a guest. That speech will be from 4 to 6 minutes, so you're not even up here for that long. And speaking about yourself or a topic that's interesting to you, that 4 to 6 minutes will go like that. But to move on to the last two sections, first is signing up roles for the next meeting. Welcome Eugen to the stage.
So the positions that we have are Toastmaster, which is what Slate did. Table topics, what Ben did is giving questions, impromptu questions. Then we have speakers. General evaluator, what Tricia did is just to give an overall summary of the meeting. Evaluators, who will evaluate the speakers. Then grammarian, off-counter, and timer. So, is there any volunteer for any of the positions that are available?
I do speaker.
Speaker? How do you spell your name?
Sorry.
Alright, you'd be speaker 1, and we can have we can have 3 more speakers. So total.
2 more speakers. Oh, we can go up to 4?
Yeah, we can go up to 4, if anyone's interested. So, We still have table topics, Toastmaster, speakers, general evaluator, grammarian, off timer, and timer. Okay.
I'll do table topics.
Okay.
Can I sign up as a speaker?
Okay. General evaluator, Toastmaster,
I'll be Toastmaster.
alright.
I can also evaluate.
All counter, grammarian, timer, and general evaluator. Anyone wants to do those?
I'll be the timer.
I beat general evaluators. Alright, all counter and grammarian?
Her prize role is the
Absolutely. How's these? Okay. One more row, grammarian, or if anyone else want to be speakers, or? I guess we can put that
And
in.
an important note is, this isn't a group meeting, you can always go into this meeting and sign up for future dates in advance. So keep that in mind.
Alright. That's it.
Well, with that concluded, I want to welcome Trisha up. You have the tally, right?
I do, yes. So for the sake that we only have one speaker and one evaluator, by default, they do win in their respective sections. So what I will be giving is best table topics, so the 1 to 2 minute section. So drum roll, please. Stark. Congratulations. There you go.
Awesome. Just kind of cheated out of my work membership.
Yeah, same for you.
Each and one this ribbon. I'm just kidding. But with that, we conclude our meeting. I really liked every single part of it, and we are ending early. So, and I have nothing else to say. So, with that said, this Toastmasters meeting is over. Remember, if you want to join the club, this time
Slate
one of the opposites.